Welcome to Discover Your Woo. We're going to actually start a four-part series today on the elementals. How to actually attract the elementals to your area, whether that be your garden, to your yard, to your land, to actually be able to connect with them. Now, what am I talking about when I say elementals? Elementals, let's think of just the elements. There are four elements in nature. There is the element of water, fire, air, and earth. And those elements are all associated with the different parts of what brings the earth as a whole together, those four different elements. So when we're talking about elementals, I'm talking about the different beings, the different interdimensional beings that are associated with each one of those elements. Um, when we're talking about fire, we have things like fire fairies, Thunderbird from Native American lore would go with fire. Fire dragons, everybody's familiar with dragons. Salamanders, something that most people don't associate with the fire. But in ancient times, people considered salamanders as being, and not the what we're thinking of as things in the water, but similar beings to salamanders that are actually in fire. In St. Elmo's fire, the blue when lightning strikes a steeple or something, or a lightning rod, it leaves sort of a blue plasma. That's where they would say salamanders are actually the ancient form of salamanders exist, or in volcanoes, even in lava. In water, we have water sprites, things like mermaids, mermen. Everybody's heard of those, undines, water nymphs, especially the mermaids and mermen. Um, on the earth plane, we have, when we talk about the earth element, we're talking about fairies, pixies, gnomes, elves, brownies, wood nymphs, all of those types of things. Air, we'd be talking about. Now, those are a little more rare. People don't aren't real familiar with those. We're usually talking about things like sylphons, spiritualites, and sylphs. Sylphs are wind guardians. The sylphons are cloud guardians. Okay, and then spiritualites are the snow guardians associated with the ancient concept of the snow queen, the protector of the snow that comes in winter. And they're ones that actually purify with that snow. So keep in mind what we're going to be trying to do is connect with these beings. A lot of people say these beings don't exist. I'm saying that these are interdimensional beings that have an existence, but that in fact they're hesitant to show themselves to humans, especially now. Throughout history, you had lots of reported sightings of these different spirit beings, these interdimensional elementals. And but now we're not really seeing that. Now it's interesting. Um, Edgar Casey, who's the Sleeping Prophet, you might have heard of him. If not, you want to probably look him up and find out some of his work. We'll probably cover Edgar Casey in one of our episodes here. But during one of his readings, he actually mentioned that these elementals do exist and that they are simply vibrating at a higher dimension than we are, and that what to actually see them and to experience with them, to have experiences with them, you actually have to harmonize with the infinite. So you have to bring your level of energy up to a higher vibration so that you can actually experience them and have interaction with them. The best times to do this are in spring and fall. There, you have to kind of be patient when you're trying to connect with these elementals. It's something where they kind of have to warm up to you. You have to invite them in. And I will. There's going to be some pictures that we're going to have with some of those different elementals that I was just talking about, and pictures of on our land at the Druzy Place, our healing and meditation center, and we're trying to connect with them in the garden and in other places. Again, the best time to try to connect is spring or fall, but we're going to be doing this in the summer because this is where we're at this time of year, and we want to actually go ahead and try to make this connection. I think you can probably do that because I feel like I've had some experience just recently, been trying to call and open myself up to being able to experience and see them. And some of the ways you can do that is you can bring them gifts like crystals. They love crystals. You can hang crystals in your yard off of trees. They love the glittering, or place them on the ground where they can get to them. Build a house for them, literally. So that's something that I've also begun to do. Place some different things out there, like a little pond where they can have, and building a space for them can actually definitely bring them in. They love this to be around flowers and ferns, especially. So, planting flowers and ferns in your garden or in your yard is always an excellent way to begin the process of attracting them. And also to have a meditation or a sort of a nature ritual to open yourself up and to let them know that you're there and that you are having a desire to see them, and to experience with them. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to spend a couple more episodes doing that. We'll spend one episode doing that. We'll spend a couple of episodes actually talking a little more in depth about the different elementals, whether it's the fire and water and earth and air. We'll break those down into two parts, and then we'll have our experience of actually trying to make that connection. And who knows, maybe even, and I'll show you in a picture that we have where I was out on the land after I did my little calling ritual to open up for them to come and let them know that I respect them and would love to have them come onto our property, and to make themselves visible. Had an experience where I had a little area where it goes into the woods, and I had my dogs out, and my dogs, if there's rabbits or squirrels or whatever, they go off chasing them immediately. They are very good at sniffing out any kind of animal. My dogs sitting near me, nothing. They were in that area, they weren't experiencing anything yet. I clearly, out the side of my vision here, saw something, I can't say what, but move into the woods, and you could see, as I turned my head, I could see clearly where they had where the leaves were moving as it went in. Now again, my dogs would have been there, so if it would have been an animal, they would have immediately, pounced on it right there. Unfortunately, I try to keep that from happening. Now keep in mind, if you have animals, if you have dogs, you probably want to kind of keep them in an area where there's not going to be a lot of interaction with them, because that might scare off your elementals. But they didn't even see them, and so something very small went into this, and you'll see that in the photo. Definitely make sure you. We're excited to do this. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our channel, whatever channel you happen to see this on. We do have our new website coming up real soon. That's going to be at www.discoveryouarewoo.com. You can actually go in there and see a lot of the same videos, but there'll be videos that you won't be able to see on our different sites that we have out there, on the free sites. There'll also be things you can do, tarot. We can do tarot classes with you. We'll have tarot classes. We'll have actually lots of different things that you can take part in at that site. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Excited to be doing the next parts of this video, of this series. So we will see you soon. Thank you so much for being a part.